Hey there, avid listeners. Thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be talking about Gold Spun by Brandy June. This is a magical fantasy retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. And I have to say, I really did like it. So let's get into it. One of the things I think is strongest for this novel is Noor. I think she's such a great protagonist because she's a con artist. With her family, but she is a con artist for the survival of her family, and I think that that's very compelling for her. You see how she has some remorse for conning people, but really it's either her or them, and it's not even, her or them, it's her or her family. And she is one of four, second oldest. She's the clever one, she's the eldest sister, the only girl, and she thinks of these cons because she wants to have her family survive. That's all she wants in her life. She just wants her family to survive. And it's very hard for her to see her family in such a destitute state. And the reason her family's in a destitute state is because, her country was at war with another kingdom. And, well, it left a lot of people, as you would imagine war would, a lot of people in destitute situations. So her father died in the war. Her mother died of an illness not long after, and then her older sister not long after that of an illness, because they weren't able to really afford things like medicine. It's not even that they couldn't afford things like medicine, it's that there was no medicine readily available either, because their country was in such a state of disrepair. Everyone was on rations. So to keep her family alive, they're constantly on the move, thinking of schemes so that they can, survive. And you really do as a reader connect to that. And I think that that's what really sells the book, how you have this main protagonist. She's not perfect, but she's not a bad person either. And you can empathize, you can sympathize with her. All she wants is her family's survival. So I think that's really key for her. Now, what I also think works really well with this story is the fact that there is no love triangle. I'm not against love triangles, honestly. I do think they have become a little bit cliche nowadays. I don't think they're 100% necessary, just like the whole insta-love trope as well. I'm not a huge fan of that either. So I do like the fact that this story kind of stays away from both of those tropes. You're staying away from the insta-love trope, and you're staying away from the love triangle. Now, there is an allusion to a love triangle. There is an allusion to it, but June, the author, does not see it to fruition. She's not making it come alive. Noor is attracted to Pell, the fae that she ended up saving. And she feels like she owes him because he does help her, The prince who's going to become king, he does catch her in a lie, and he's not like lying in his kingdom. He's not like con artist, and he's just like, oh, you can spin straw into gold, huh? Okay. In that case, I want you to spin all this into gold, and if you can't do it, you and your entire family is going to be exiled. So So Nor, she doesn't really know what to do at this point. So she calls upon the Fae whose life she saved to help her out. And he does, but of course, as you all know, magic comes with a price. Always with a price, dearie. Sorry. I really love Rumple in Once Upon a Time. That show would have been nothing without him. Him and Regina. The pair of them. Absolutely brilliant. So. Anyway. What was key is there's a camaraderie between the characters. There is a camaraderie between them. And I like that. I like that there is this friendship that blossoms between the characters. And I like that the author decided to go this route. With both of Nora's relationships, they both kind of start antagonistic. But instead of just going for that insta-love trope, she focuses on developing a friendship between the characters first before developing that romance. And I think it gives the romance aspect of the novel a little bit more credence, especially because you don't have that love triangle. You're focusing solely on her relationship growing with the prince. Yes, there is this hint that there could be a potential love triangle, but she doesn't wholly develop it. She doesn't 100% say, yeah, we're going to totally go with this love triangle. No, instead, she focuses on the friendship aspect of it. And you can definitely tell that Pell, he cares about her, but you don't know if it's romantic, because he just says, he's like, you're very interesting for a human. Because she is. She's not like any typical human that he's ever met before. And I do, again, like the camaraderie that blossoms between them. I also love how Nora continuously kind of calls out the royal court, especially when it comes to rationing. This is like the perfect example of what happens in the story, right? She says, well, people, she's looking at all this food, like, you're wasting all this food and people are rationing. And people in the royal court are like, we got rid of the rationing protocols a while ago. And I love Nora's response, because what she says is like, you may have gotten rid of it. That doesn't mean people out there are still not rationing. There's not enough food for your people. It's like, there are towns that are destitute. And you're wasting all this food because you think in this small city there's enough food. What about the rest of your kingdom? So I love how she calls the royal court out on their ignorance and their shit. And she really does care, You can see that Nora is a person, a con artist, but she's a person who cares about people. She cares about her family, and if she can do things to help out people, she'll do it. And that's what I like about her. That's what makes her a really good protagonist to follow. As for the story itself, again, it does stay away from those tropes. It does stay away from cliches. I do like that one subplot in the story, however. You, as the reader, I don't want to spoil anything, but you as the reader, you know what that story is alluding to. But Nor doesn't. And that's the fascinating part. So when you get to the end, you have all these questions and there are no answers. You're like, what? It was really jaw-dropping. I personally was like, okay, what? I'm like, I need a book 2. And I didn't know if this book was going to have a book 2. So luckily, yes, the author has announced that there is a sequel. I'm like, oh, thank God. I have so many questions. I need answers. I need my theories to be proven correct. That's just kind of how I felt. I was just like, So it does make me very eager to see where the story is going to go, how it's going to play out. And a book that makes me eager to read the sequel is definitely, in my mind, a really well-written book. So I'm very interested to see how it's going to play out. And any case, to go ahead and give this book 3 out of 5 stars. Not 3 out of 5 stars. Sorry. 4 out of 5 stars. It was well written. I did like that June stayed away from certain cliches and certain tropes to give her story something very unique as far as the storytelling goes. So, if you want to go ahead and purchase the book, I just ask that you purchase the book from your local bookseller or online book retailer. I will include links in the description of the podcast. If money is tight, check out the book from your local library. And I hope you all will continue to support me by liking this podcast, subscribing to it, and sharing it with all your book loving friends. You can also become a supporter on buymeacoffee.com or by purchasing one of my handmade candles. You can also become a supporter on Anchor FM, my recording platform, for just 99 cents a month. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and as always, happy reading.